Yes, Mr. Pretorius.
Mr. Agrizzi, I understand that there's an issue that you wish to revert to and clarify
Yes.
in relation to your evidence this morning. Please go ahead.
If I may, Chair.
Yes.
Chair, in terms of the Sunday Times' letter, I just wish to notify the Chair that the email only got to me literally 5 minutes before we started. I passed it over to Advocate Wits. I didn't even have time to read it properly.
Yes, that is before the tea break, you mean? Today?
No, before
What are you talking about?
the email from the Sunday Times.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is whether you say you got it about 5 minutes before something, and I'm asking whether you're talking about this morning.
This morning, I got this email at about, I see it was sent at 11:19 this morning, and I got it for 2 minutes, and I passed it straight on to Advocate Wits.
Yes.
So I didn't even read through it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and
yes, but you have had time to read it now?
And now I've had time to read it, yes.
Yes.
And what I meant is, I never lied to the Commission. What I said quite clearly, as it worked out, number one, I didn't have the opportunity to deal with this complaint. It was put in front of me, which is also a bit unfair, but given that, Chair, I responded to the press, correct. But I responded to the email. I did not respond to the questions, and that is what I meant. And maybe I didn't express myself properly, but because it's just handed to me and I've got to answer this question out of a sudden, I responded to the press. Yes, I did a response. But in my response, I said to them, I'm not responding to these questions. So I wasn't lying. If that's how it perceived, well, that's how it is. I wasn't going to respond. I didn't need to respond. I knew that they were going to publish without my response anyway.
I still haven't read them, the documents that were handed up this morning in relation to the Sunday Times. But what is the effect of your request that they give you 48 hours to respond? What is the effect, if any, on the answer you gave?
Chair, the effect is that on the 25th, I think it was, on the 25th, they sent me questions they sent me questions at, I'll tell you now. So just to get the chronology right.
Yeah.
They sent me questions, Bongani Fuzile sent me questions on Friday, the 25th of January at 3 o'clock. I'm just going to round off the numbers, at 3 o'clock.
Mm.
I only got home, I think, at about 4. But
Yes.
I responded to him, and I responded to everybody, because that's what I told everybody I'm going to do. Because if someone asks me questions, I'd rather respond to everybody so that they have the truth. I responded at 4 o'clock, call it 4 o'clock, on the same day. My response says very clearly that, please, as I've arranged with the editor and everybody else, I will respond in 48 hours. Now, if you take 48 hours, Chair, that takes you up to Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
At 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
3 o'clock Sunday afternoon, they had already published the story.
Yes.
Without my response.
Yes.
Because I hadn't given a response yet.
Yes.
I don't know if that explains it, Chair.
You, as I understand it, you must just confirm this.
Yes.
You did give some answers in your response, but you said you would give more or further answers in 48 hours. I'm trying to understand, because earlier on I understood that you did respond to some questions, or did I misunderstand?
You misunderstood, Chair.
Yes.
With all the respect.
Yes.
I responded to the email, which is correct. I did respond. But I said I'm not going to respond to the questions.
Yes.
Until the agreement of 48 hours, and the reason for that would be to make sure that I comply with the regulations set by the Commission, which I didn't even know at that stage. I only read about them on the Saturday.
Yes,
So
yes.
I never answered their questions.
So you never answered the
No,
questions
Chair.
that they put to you?
No, Chair.
Oh, I had misunderstood that.
You see,
yeah.
Chair, and I think that's why I need to
Yes.
clarify it, because
Yes. So you said you would only be able to respond after 48 hours. And
Chair.
did they respond? Did they say anything to you to say, no, that's too long for us, or anything? They didn't respond.
no.
And you sent your email to them around what time on Friday afternoon?
On Friday at exactly 15:54.
Yes.
And I'll read my email to there. This is the response. As per the arrangement with your editors, I will respond in 48 hours from receiving your mail. That being Sunday, the 27th of January at 14:57. Should you wish to publish anything, you are contravening the Commission regulations as well as the Journalistic Code of Conduct. Once more, not affording me the right to reply. Because there's been 2 other incidents, Chair, where I haven't even been asked questions. So, as per, and I want to finish this, as with your previous articles, which were proven to be false and fabricated, of which you are aware that I have already lodged a complaint to the Press Ombudsman for no less than 2 of the contraventions by your publication already. I have taken the liberty of copying in all the press that have previously published articles in this respect so that they have an overview of my response. And I finish off by saying, furthermore, you're aware of Chief Zondo's, Chair Judge Zondo's request that media don't publish anything that... But you see, Chair, what I'm trying to explain is that I wasn't lying, and this is mischievous, because why was it brought to me 5 minutes before the questions get asked of me? I hadn't had time to peruse this. Does it not? Chair, I didn't lie to you. What I've given you here is the truth.
Oh, thank you very
And
much.
I think this should clarify it up.
Yes. Mr. Pretorius, I don't know if there's anything you want to say, ask, or in connection with this.
Safe to say, Chair, that what's on the record is sufficient in order to clarify and put both sides of the story. That has been done. Let me just ask the witness. You've had an opportunity now to look at the documentation over the long adjournment,
That's correct.
and you've had an opportunity to consult your counsel in respect of the contents.
That is correct.
Are you happy that you've been able to give a full explanation?
Chair, I'm happy. I've given you the explanation. I hope you understand what I said.
Yes. No, thank you. But I think explanation might give the impression that your position as we stand now is that you admit that you gave a wrong answer at some stage, therefore here is the explanation. There is inconsistency between 2 answers that you have given, whereas your position might be different as I understand the position. So maybe I should ask the position. To the extent that the Sunday Tribune might be saying, Sunday Times might be saying or suggesting that you lied when you said that you were not given an opportunity to respond before they wrote their article, to the extent that that's what they say in terms of your evidence yesterday, what do you say?
Chair, I did not lie. Perhaps when I mean the word respond, I did not understand that question. And quite simply, previous articles as well. I was never even told about. So in my mind, I was telling you the truth.
But you have calculated even the hours. You say you ask them to give you 48 hours to respond, and you say they publish before the expiry of 48 hours.
That's right, Chair.
Yes, okay, all right, thank you.
So do I understand you correctly, Mr.
Sorry, Mr. Pretorius. I'm not going to, certainly not at this stage, determine anything in regard to this issue. I just say what is in the public domain, that on Tuesday last week, when I expressed concern about certain conduct on the part of certain journalists, newspapers, and editors, one of the things I raised was that sometimes journalists get a lot of time to investigate matters, and when they want to write, they give people about whom they are about to write very short time. And I appealed to journalists to please give people a fair opportunity to comment or respond to matters that they are going to write about. And on Tuesday, I did say it had happened to this commission 2 times that a journalist gave the commission a few hours to comment, and before the commission could comment, went ahead and published. And I said, it's unfair. I didn't say then, I'm saying now, it would be important that journalists observe this basic principle of fairness. When something like that happens, it gives rise to the perception that the journalists or the media are may not be so interested in the other person's version. And that's not good for professional and good journalism. Thank you. Mr. Pretorius.
Perhaps we can conclude this aspect of the evidence, Mr. Agrizzi. I don't want to enter into a debate about the semantics of opportunity to respond and what response actually means, but do I understand your evidence correctly that whatever the complaint of the Sunday Times, which is now on record, you stand by your evidence that you weren't given a fair and adequate opportunity to respond to the issues raised in the Sunday Times report?
Most definitely not.
Okay. All right. Just to conclude then, I will deal with logistic matters in a moment, Chair, but the legal team is aware, Mr. Agrizzi, of the risks that you face and have faced, of the time you have spent in preparation of evidence, assisting the investigators, and the many days you've given evidence, the expenses that you have incurred, and the cost to you and your family. But I'm afraid that the process is not yet over. There is still a lengthy and detailed investigation to be conducted by the Commission's investigators. We have to hear the versions of persons you've implicated, and there will be cross-examination, and I understand that you've undertaken to make yourself available for all those processes.
Most definitely.
There's also the matter of the devices, the computers, cell phones, and other electronic recordal devices in your possession. You've undertaken to make them available to the investigators so that they can examine contents and compare that to the evidence you've given.
That is correct.
Chair, we have asked you to make a draft order in that regard. It doesn't have to be made now formally because the undertaking is there and the cooperation has been given. But I've asked a member of the legal team to compile an order that you may consider making, and your registrar may have handed you a copy or is about to hand you a copy, but I don't want to, I'm not sure that this wording would be suitable for any order that you may make, but that can be made at a later stage. We don't have to detain you for the moment. Would you look at paragraph 54?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this. I know that you are saying it's not something to be made now.
Not necessarily.
It's just that I want to understand so that I can ask if I need to ask now any question.
There may be an issue in relation to the last sentence of paragraph 3. So perhaps we should consider its contents and revert.
Well, this doesn't tell me what gives rise to the request. So it may well be that something would need to be done to tell me what gives rise to the
Well, I thought
need
that was in paragraphs 1 and 2.
Sorry?
Paragraphs 1 and 2?
Of the same document?
Yes, Chair.
No, it doesn't tell me what
Well, it
gives
says
rise
to you,
to
Chair,
it.
that Mr. Agrizzi has testified in relation to information, documents, image that were captured on his cell phone computer equipment. Certain investigations are being undertaken, and consequently, an order may be made to surrender the computers, laptops, external hard drives, and cell phones. But, Chair,
why do you need an order for that? Is he not volunteering that?
Well, Chair, the investigators have asked me to obtain an order.
Okay, all right. Well, you can see I need more than just this before I can make the order.
Chair, there may be private information.
Well, there must be something that tells me.
Confidential information.
Well, that's why there needs to be a basis. There should be maybe an affidavit that says the need for this order arises from the following. The mere fact that he has given evidence
Chair.
about this can't on its own be the basis.
Chair, that's precisely why I've suggested that we don't do it now. We do it later.
But now you know what I'm thinking.
Yes, I do, Chair.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you.
Chair, if I can also just say something. I am committed. I've given them absolutely everything that I've got.
Yes, thank you.
I can't understand this. I really can't. But
No,
anyway.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Agrizzi. I'm sure, Mr. Agrizzi, it's things that are of a legal nature that the legal team and the investigators are looking at. But they will deal with those in due course.
Mr. Agrizzi, I don't want to go into the legal issues now, but it's not in any sense being suggested that your commitment should be called into question. On the contrary.
Okay.
The fact that you're doing so in terms of an order that has been made may well protect you.
It's fine.
In relation to, for example, any potential defamation action or the like that may arise.
Sorry, Chair, I get the impression that, I know I'm wrong, and I know I've made mistakes, and I know I've said things, but I get the impression that, maybe I'm being charged here now, or criminalized even further than I should be.
No, Mr. Agrizzi. I think Mr. Pretorius has started off by telling you how much the legal team appreciates your cooperation and the trouble you have taken to be able to be here to give evidence and so on. So don't think about.
I accept that. I think, and I know this might not be right in the sense that it shouldn't be entertained, But you must remember where I'm coming from, Chair. There's a certain publication out there that I can tell you now that is being purposefully, and they will take now what has been said, and they will publish it as there is an order to seize his computers and that. A certain publication will do that.
Well, I might not know some of the things that you know already about it, but you have seen that if they ask me to make an order,
Yes.
I want to satisfy myself
Correct.
why it is necessary and so on.
And I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
but as I said, it's I think it's matters of a legal nature that they may be concerned about, and we will deal with them.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Mr. Agrizzi, you have legal representation. We will communicate with your legal representatives, and to the extent necessary, they will explain the position to you. Let me make it very clear that we do not in any way at all question your undertaking to cooperate with the Commission, including your undertaking to supply us with the necessary information that has been requested. So let that be very clear. The need for an order will be explained to the Chair in due course, but it has got nothing to do with the issues you have just raised.
I'm well aware of that. I wasn't referring to the legal team. I was referring to, you know who.
Thank you, Mr. Agrizzi.
All right, Mr. Agrizzi, I will, after your evidence in paragraph 54, address the Chair in relation
I'm sorry,
to certain
Mr.
further
Pretorius.
matters.
Can I return this until I need to consider it? Can
Yes,
I,
we will shred it, Chair, and start
until
again.
I need to consider it here. Yes.
In paragraph 54, you record certain issues that you want to communicate to the Commission. Would you perhaps read that onto the record?
In terms of, sorry,
Just read paragraph 54, if you will, please.
The last paragraph of your affidavit.
yes, but in terms of, oh yes, having reviewed the statement, I realize that I've not included all the facts and all the records at my disposal. This was entirely due to the time pressures under which this statement was prepared. The event of the past 20 years are too voluminous to have been recorded in the statement in the circumstances in which it has been prepared. I have no intention of withholding any information, and I think my conduct has proven that from the Commission. And for this reason, I will cooperate with the Commission's investigators in further investigations regarding my conduct. I've also tendered my assistance to law enforcement agencies in their investigations. I see omitted here is SARS as well. I have handed all relevant documentation in my possession relating to the above matters to the Commission's investigators already. And I think, Chair, for
Yes.
clarity purposes, if I could add on to that, I've
Yes.
tendered my fullest cooperation. And the people that will be following, the witnesses, will, I can tell you now, only but tell you the truth as I have.
Thank you.
I think the one point, Chair, that we haven't covered is that offer for silence.
Oh, yes.
Which
yes.
I'd like to cover. I see it's just arrived.
Okay.
Thank you. Explain to me.
my apologies, Chair. I
Yes.
wasn't aware that it was coming at this late stage,
Yes, yes. No,
although
that's,
we had asked for it from the investigators.
okay.
I'm sorry about this, Chair, but
Okay.
this will
Sorry?
clear up the offer to
Chair,
silence.
rather than have you sit there, watch this, perhaps we could take 5 minutes and sort this documentation out.
Yes, it would give you a chance to see
Yes,
it
thank
as
you,
well.
Chair.
Okay. We'll take, do you say 5 minutes?
Maybe 10, Chair.
Okay. We'll adjourn until and resume at 25 to 3. Yes, Mr. Pretorius.
These documents which we're about to hand up are documents that Mr. Agrizzi has asked be presented to the chair as part of his evidence. So may I hand up a bundle of documents which will be paginated in due course, but each document has an exhibit number.
Okay.
I haven't had an opportunity to discuss these with Mr. Agrizzi, but will
Yes.
invite him to speak to these documents as he wishes to do so before the conclusion of his evidence.
Thank you.
Mr. Agrizzi, you have in front of you, at your request, a bundle of documents marked annexures GG to KK.
Correct.
Would you please tell the chair what you wish to tell him about these documents and their contents?
Thank you very much, Chair, for allowing me to present these documents to you and to explain them to you, because I think it'll give you context of exactly what happened the evening after with the signing of the agreement and that. And
Yes.
I've always, you know, I thought this was in the bundle, and it
Yes.
was not.
Okay.
And I was concerned because this here corroborates my affidavit.
Yes.
All right, Chair, I would like you to start off by going to the messages which are marked KK.
Yes.
These are text messages that were downloaded from the phone, which have been sent between Valence Watson and myself.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, I might just add that Valence Watson is Valence Watson's son, and we've called him Nkosi Watson. That's how everybody
okay.
knows
Okay.
him.
Okay. So,
So-
how are you going to make the distinction?
Because you'll see, if you carry on flipping through, you'll see Valence Watson and Nkosi Watson. So I just want to
Okay.
make sure you understand the two different
Yeah. So
Watsons.
when you speak about the one, you'll say Nkosi Watson. When you speak about the other, you'll say.
Valence Watson.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thank you.
All right. Chair, what I'd like to bring to your attention is also document, now I'm just taking you through the documents first. Document GG, which is the original letter that I put out as a whistleblower.
Yes.
Okay, and
I've
you'll
got
see there,
GG. It's dated, it reflects that it was sent on 27 January 2019.
correct, but if you go down, you'll see it was actually sent out at 18:30 on the 21st of August.
You've read this document onto the
Yes.
record already,
Yes,
and it is in the bundle.
yes. So I'm not going to read it onto the record again.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I think
So
I was referring to,
I just wanted to have that document so that you could
Yeah.
see it in context. Okay, Chair, then I would like you to have a look at the document marked II.
yes,
Chair, this is a document that was sent via email from Jared Watson to myself. Sorry, from
Yes.
Jared Watson to Andries van Tonder.
yes,
This was the first draft of a proposed agreement that Jared Watson had drafted.
yes,
Okay.
Okay.
If you look at the second page, I actually refer
Yes.
to the attorneys as well.
yes,
I
second
refer this
page.
document to the attorneys.
Is that the one that says Daniel?
That's correct. Okay, that was sent to him on the 7th of September
You sent this one to Mr. Daniel Witz.
That's right, on the 7th of September, for
Yes.
information.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to read what you said there or not now?
I don't think it's really necessary now, Chair.
Okay, all right.
All right. Chair, if you go to the document marked HH, and this is the crux of everything.
Yes, I've got HH.
All right. HH, and I want to start off with the actual agreement itself. So if you flip past to where you get the agreements itself.
Memorandum of Agreement between Gavin Joseph Watson, identification number that, and Angelo Agrizzi, identification number that. That's the agreement, that's
Correct.
the draft agreement.
Correct.
Yes.
All right. Now, attached to this document is the actual email, and we need to start, Chair, if you don't mind, at page 5. Well, actually, page 4 of the email.
I'm sorry, page 4 of the agreement, page 4 of another document.
Page 4 of that pile of documents, the emails.
Oh, before the agreement.
Well, I think
That's
he
right.
means page 4 of the actual agreement.
Sorry, no, not the actual agreement. Sorry.
Okay,
Chair.
is that the page starting with from the onset at the top?
Let me just
I've
go
got
to-
page 4 that starts at the top with from the onset. I specifically made mention.
Chair, yes, sorry, we need to actually read from page 3, which is an email that I sent.
My page 3 starts with an email addressed to Angelo by Brian Biebuck.
That's right.
Is that the one?
That's right, but we need to read the one below that, which says, it's an email from myself to Brian, Gavin, Ronnie, Valence, Jared, Lindsay, and Roth.
Yes.
And in that, as I said earlier, I said it was wonderful to see you again. I refer, and what I'm trying to encapsulate here is the timeline so that I have record of it when
Yes.
I knew this would eventually go to court.
Yes.
It was wonderful to see you all again. I refer to the initial meeting held with Ronnie Watson, Valence Watson, Jared Watson, and yourself at my home, pursuant to the request to meet with myself and Andries van Tonder on Wednesday, the 22nd of August at 21:30 hours. Post my release of the press release, where my intentions were noble, honorable, and as I believe that it was imperative to clarify the truth, as I have been labeled publicly by the Watsons as a liar, a thief, and a criminal. Let's take a look at some of the facts as that present themselves. This is after I refused to sign any agreements. This is before I told them, I sent them an email.
Yes.
I said, from the onset, I specifically made mention of the fact that Gavin Watson has reneged on no less than 4 other contracts, including the most recent contract, which was summarily terminated unilaterally by yourselves and which is in our opinion still to be challenged. Pursuant to the unlawful cancellation after the first meeting with myself, it was then agreed unilaterally once more that it be reinstated and a reward for complying to the Watsons' demands. Why I put that in there, Chair, is because I wanted the courts to see exactly how they worked. A proposal was made by Ronnie Watson as follows. I had acknowledged that I trusted Ronnie Watson, and he was shocked that he was never aware of the occurrences. In fact, he stated Gavin was absolutely ludicrous for not being willing to comply with the pact. That Gavin was a scoundrel, that he would be dealt with severely. Ronnie Watson would personally underwrite the guarantees in terms of the new contract. That a quasi-committee be established to manage the process. That a new agreement be formulated that would benefit myself and would be able to take care of the various families that have had their lives ruined by Gavin Watson and others. Ronnie Watson acknowledged what Gavin had done was despicable and agreed that this was as a direct result of the fact that Gavin had certain moral issues that affected his decision-making. It was agreed that the initial agreement would be drafted between myself and Brian Biebuck, with strict instructions that the correspondence would be kept strictly between us until such time as I was fully content that it was a replacement with the replacement agreement. On the 23rd of August at 18:30, a further meeting was held until 1:20 the following morning, where it was mentioned that everything had been sorted out and that Gavin had instructed Brian to draft a new agreement. And Chair, the reason I'm reading this out is because this is like minutes of the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. On the 24th of August, Brian responded with a draft agreement that was drawn up with the conditions decided at the meeting with the brothers. The agreement pursuant to be drafted as a replacement agreement at first included numerous restrictive clauses, which were never included in the first agreement, and included the following aspects: the establishment of a new co, which didn't make sense at all, provision of a committee who would govern the new co planned business, and where Angelo Agrizzi would have to motivate business plans in order to receive funding. And it goes on, it says, this was supposedly to satisfy the requirements and show empowerment. Yet, the agreement was made in the name of Watson and Agrizzi. The agreement has no provision for suretyships, and it's common knowledge that Gavin Watson is 70 years old and has moved all his assets into various trusts. This concern was mentioned from the onset of the discussion when Brian spoke to me. My current agreement has full and proper related suretyships. Lastly, and this is where, let's call it, I do the revelation, I became somewhat perturbed at the way the matter was handled, especially on the insistence that I retract the press release, making special mention that in terms of the agreement, I would be constrained. However, what became evident to me on the 23rd of August 2018 was that the intentions were in fact not noble, as Ronnie Watson had put it. If the intentions were in fact to look after the affected families and ensure the relationships would be mended, a conceited effort would have been to have had the new agreement modeled on the existing agreement with the appropriate warranties in place. It became evident that at the various meetings, that the sole intent was to allow myself to vent, and the attitude in which the real problems were dealt with were both false and superficial. Fortunately, I've worked with Gavin Watson for 18 years to understand the tactic that would be eventually used on me, and so I've played the game as it presented. I then say, evidently, the agreement is nothing more than to achieve a retraction and create a situation where even if I did try and enforce my rights, it would serve little or no purpose. I then go on to say it's quite disappointing that in order to calm the storm, everyone contemplated their own resolve at my expense once more, and therefore I have no option but to refuse the attempt to purchase my silence. Once more, I would like to reiterate that I find it despicable that you would insult my intelligence. Take care, and God bless. I now want to bring you to the response from the attorney to that email.
Yes.
And the response from Brian Biebuck is dated 1758.
What page is it?
It starts on page 2, Chair.
2.
Correct, Chair.
Yes.
And it starts off by saying, and I'm not a legal person, so please understand
Yeah.
that, this was sent to all the brothers, and it's very clear. He says to me, Brian Biebuck writes, I have no idea what has caused this change of attitude, but suffice to say that you have agreed.
No, I'm sorry.
You
I
said
think
page
it's
2.
on page 3.
Sorry. It
Yeah,
goes
I
on
said-
to, I read
Yeah,
on to page 3.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no idea what has caused this change of attitude, but suffice to say that you've agreed to refer your concerns to the Oversight Committee, who are happy to hear you out. That said, I've just spoken to Gavin, who is in PE, but who is happy to fly up tomorrow and sign the agreement in its current format. Gavin has no communication with Fourie or De Jager, who is in ICU and facing amputation of his leg. That is the private investigators that were put onto us, Chair.
Yes.
Any communication between them relates to labor union action currently going on at the airport. Now, I want to refer you, Chair, to the actual SMSs.
I'm sorry. I just want to mention the email that you read to us earlier on from you.
Yes.
Was sent off on the 25th of August, 2018
That's correct.
at 1640.
Yes, Chair.
Okay, and this response from Mr. Biebuck was on the same day, yeah? Is that right? No.
Later.
Does it show when it was sent to you? I can't see.
Chair, it shows that
1758 at the bottom of page 2, Chair.
Oh, okay.
on page 2 at 1758.
So it
the
was
25th.
on the same day.
Same day, just a bit later.
Yes,
That's
okay.
in response to my email saying I'm not going to be bought.
Thank you.
Chair, then I want to refer you to KK.
Again, 25 August was the day when you had a meeting with Mr. Gavin Watson's children. Is that right?
It was the day
In the
prior.
evening. In the
It
evening.
was the 24th.
24th. Oh,
I'll
so
tell
this
you
was the
now.
following day.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Continue.
Chair, I'd like you to go to the SMSs, KK. And
Did
the
you say
last
page 10?
10, KK.
Okay.
Saturday, if you go to the last page, sorry, Chair, it's a bit mixed up, but you've got to bear with me.
Well, I don't have page 10 unless you're talking about the agreement.
No, I'm talking about the annexure KK, Chair. This
Oh,
one
okay.
over here.
Page 10 of KK.
The last page, Chair. I haven't paginated mine.
Okay, yes, I've got it.
This is an SMS, Chair, that was taken off my phone, and I want to refer you to it. At the top there, you'll see Lindsay Watson.
Yes.
It's dated 21/20 on my phone is when I would have taken the screenshot.
Yeah.
Saturday, the 25th of August, at 13 minutes past 1. There's a message that comes to me. It says, "Hi, Angelo. Thanks for so much again for last night. I had a good time. I'm really glad that we managed to chat and hope our families can resolve this." So it was to say
Yes.
thank you because I'd welcomed them into my house and we had had a discussion. I want to refer you to 1714, Chair. the time.
That's the email just immediately below that
The
one.
message below that is at 17:14. She acknowledges that she got my emails and she asks the question, "Hi Angelo, am I missing something regarding the emails? I thought we were all getting somewhere." That was when I refused to sign their offer.
Yes. Okay.
Okay? Chair, I want to refer you now to the page thereafter, which is the page of an SMS that was sent by
I'm sorry, same annexure?
same annexure page before the one you were on.
You mean the page before that one that you have just dealt with?
That's correct, Chair.
Okay, I've got it. It's written Jarrod Watson at the top.
Correct. This is a screenshot that was sent to Andries van Tonder. And the screenshot says, yeah, the problem, I believe, is that Brian was drawing stuff up. Because we only get what he has done. They then send a screenshot confirming that this is discussions between Roth Watson and Jared Watson. That they sent the copy of this to Andries van Tonder. He says here, he says, I genuinely don't think it's a bad contract. I'll explain when I see you. Okay? So that confirms that they're busy with this. And then I'd like you, Chair, to go to Jared Watson's SMS that came through at that I screenshot at 1910. So you see Jared Watson on top, and it says, morning, I will phone you back in a while. Angelo is in meeting with the attorneys.
I'm sorry.
The next page.
Or the page before that.
Correct.
Next when you are traveling backwards or towards the front.
Sorry, Chair. It's-
Okay, all right. Yeah, is that the page also written Jarrod Watson at the top?
Yes. Morning. It's written at the top. And it says, morning, I will phone you back in a while. Angelo is in a meeting with the attorney. This is messages sent from Andries van Tonder to Jared Watson.
Oh, okay. And in the page that we dealt with before, this current one, those messages were from who to who?
Those messages were from Jared to Roth Watson.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Chair. He says to Andries says to him, I'm sorry, Angelo's in a meeting with his attorney. Andries, he then responds to Andries, says, no problem, Andries, honestly, I just want to say thanks from the bottom of my heart for all your help in this. It's the only thing that's given me a bit of peace, knowing that you are mediating.
Yes.
And why I'm raising that, Chair, is because the intention was to silence me. I'd like you to go, Chair, sorry, I'm messing you around. Chair, if you go to the message thereafter.
On
which
the
is
previous page.
The previous page, sorry, Chair. Correct. Sunday, the 26th of August.
It's written Jarrod Watson at the top as well, eh?
Correct, Chair.
Yes.
And right at the bottom it's got, hey, my man, let me know when we can chat again. Jared Watson on Sunday, the 26th of August, writes, this is after the refusal, Chair. He writes, morning, my man, please give me a call when you see this. Didn't sleep at all last night. Just want to pick your brains for a few minutes. And then he writes again. He says, Andries, Gavin is getting back from PE sometime today. Do you think there is value in letting us all get together when he lands? Hey, my man Gavin arrived at my place. Have you got any advice and the way forward? I'm not going to even bother to dwell on the Monday, the 27th of August, Chair. I just want, Chair, if you can and I know this is, it's bad to do it like this, but you need to go to another page now, just so I can get you the sequence. So it's page number 1.
Starting from the front
the
of
front.
the annexure now.
We're doing it the proper way, from the front.
Yeah, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, page number 5. It says Valence Watson on top.
My page 5 says, is written Kosi, Valence, and Watson.
Sorry, then it's page 6, Chair, the next one.
Yes, this one is written Valence, Watson at the top, yeah.
All right. I want to take you through this, Chair. This was on Saturday, the 25th of August. If you look at the time is at 2013 and 2014. That is after we had rejected their offer. Andres actually was on the line with me and he says, I will phone you back now. And these are screenshots of what he sent him. The forwarded message is very clear after I'd spoken to Andres over the phone. He then forwarded that message to Valence Watson. It was my message. Brother, I write to him, the fact is simple, no honor, no respect, and quite simply the intent tells me the caliber of man. They can have their money. There's a little money bag there. And I said to him, you have half of mine anyway, so what's the issue? I will not sit with men who have no honor anymore. For me and you to go through this, where they call the tune, please let them be. Don't talk and waste your time. Even this we can resolve that issue with a board for. What's that board? Not a board anyway. Intellect, there's a chair. I don't know what I was trying to explain. On Monday, the 27th of August, on the following page, Chair. It says, I get called to another meeting. I say, no, brother, I don't think I will be at any Watson meeting soon. It serves no purpose to negotiate anything. We stay clear of anything dirty, and God will continue to bless us. Chair.
Yes.
I would like to also mention that I said very clearly to them, to the Watsons, there's an alternative. We all come clean together. We fix this up. I respond to Andres after he's been barraged with messages on the 27th of August. I says, Andres, brother, at that stage I was also using Barry Roo. We have Barry Roo at 11:30. Thereafter, we have done application. We have to run with it. We have a duty to report corruption and abuse. And I'm most definitely not going to be involved with Gavin any longer. So, I'm sorry, I'm going ahead. I've given them enough chances to come with an alternative. And that meant to come clean. I also want to submit the latest offer of the Watsons as a reflection of how they try to cover up corruption. That's my take on it. And I'm sure Manny, Danny, Gerard, and Barry will agree. If you please turn over, Chair, to the next page.
Yes.
This is the message was sent to Gavin Watson by Andries van Tonder as well. But at the bottom, it's exactly the same message. At the bottom, you'll see another one. And this is one that he had forwarded to Valence and forwarded to Gavin. Sorry, guys. Pointless. I think the decision is made in the message I got from Angelo Agrizzi. He seems to say that he has enough of the issue and wants to stick with his conscience to make a full disclosure. Sleep well. Best regards.
Who sent this one and to whom?
Andries van Tonder
Yeah.
sent it to Gavin Watson himself.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Chair, I don't need to go through all of them. I think based on this, I think you know what my intentions were right from the onset here, Chair. And I don't know if
Well,
there's
I
anything-
just want us to go to the agreement.
Yes, Chair.
If you are able to, I would like you to pinpoint the clause that said what you were going to deliver. But if you are not able to put your hand on it immediately, that's fine. One can read the agreement later.
Sorry, Chair, I just realized now this is not the agreement that I should be putting here, but it's similar. But the last one that Brian Bebuck sent me was execution copy on top, which I
Yes.
have. But, you know, I was so annoyed when I got to, I might have sent him the wrong email. I'm not too sure.
Oh, okay. So
But
this one that is here is not
it's not
the right
much
one.
dissimilar.
Yeah.
If I may interrupt, if you look at HH,
Page?
at the end of that little bundle is an agreement with the heading at the top, in the right-hand corner, execution version.
Annex WH.
Oh, sorry, then it is here. Thank God for that. Double H, oh, sorry. I didn't yes, Chair. This was the final,
This was the final agreement.
yes, this is the one. This is the
Yes.
one. Sorry, I didn't, but it says the execution version. And if you look at the email trail, this was sent at, that was early in the morning, I think. I can't remember now. But I can answer questions off this, Chair, where possible.
Yes, I just wanted to look at the clause that said what was expected of you in terms of this agreement.
Chair, you know, I'll be very frank with you, I didn't even read this agreement properly.
If it's
Go to paragraph 5.5.
Yes. You want me to read it for the record?
yes, read it.
In order to ensure the harmonious relationship between the parties in executing the terms of this agreement, the administration and the running of NUCA, and to assist in the endeavor to rebuild prior trust relationships, the Oversight Committee will hold themselves responsible and available to meet with the parties at short notice to resolve a concern, complaint, disagreement, difference, dispute that may arise between the parties and issue. It is recorded that it is a material term of the agreement that neither party shall denigrate or malign another party, which, if breached, may result in the termination of the agreement.
No, I think it may be clause 5.1. It reads, Angelo will serve as Govern's personal consultant to advise him personally in relation to his business dealings generally, and to this end, the parties will meet regularly to discuss and exchange ideas beneficial to Govern's business interests. Is that not the one that says what you were supposed to do?
No, Chair,
not the
this
one.
was to keep me quiet.
No, I understand that,
Yes.
but I'm saying, other than this clause,
Yes.
this clause tells the reader what you were going to do or what was expected you of in terms of this agreement. And it says you were going to be Mr. Gavin Watson's personal consultant to advise him personally in relation to his business dealings generally, and that the two of you would meet regularly and exchange ideas and so on and so on.
So it wasn't a full-time job, it was only regularly.
Sorry?
It wasn't full-time, it was only regularly.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So, but I just wanted confirmation that this is what, in terms of the agreement, you were supposed to deliver. In terms of the agreement, in terms of what's written here.
Yes.
Yeah, but what do you say about, does it reflect the reality of what was going to happen?
Chair, this was a silence agreement. Keep quiet, will pay you this money. That's what it was. Would you pay anybody? I don't think there's a consultant around that gets 50 million rand to be available as a retention over 5 years. Well, actually more. It actually works out to a bit more because it's between 5 and 10 million.
Yes, okay, thank you.
So I think, Chair, that clarifies it for me.
Well,
So that
if I
you know
may,
exactly.
Chair. Paragraph 5, as the Chair said, purports to set out your duties in terms of this agreement, that you will consult with Gavin as a personal consultant regularly
Yes.
to discuss and exchange ideas. That
Correct.
was, on the face of it, what you had to do. Correct?
Correct? On the face of it.
For that, you would receive 250,000 rand on a monthly basis. Correct?
Over 5 years, yes.
And in addition, paragraph 6 provides for the establishment of a new company. You would be executive chairman of that company, and payments of 10 million rand annually, or an initial payment of 10 million rand, and thereafter between 5 and 10 million rand would be paid to that company. Correct?
Yes.
As you said in your evidence. Paragraph 5.5 says in the last 3 lines, it being recoded, it should read recorded, perhaps a Freudian slip, Chair, it being recorded that it is a material term of the agreement that neither party shall denigrate or malign the other party, which if breached may result in the termination of the agreement as provided herein. Correct?
Correct.
And paragraph 8.3, if you would just read that onto the record.
8.3 reads, neither party shall allow to be done or cause to be done anything which does or may impinge the good name and reputation of another party.
I'm sorry, what clause was that?
8.3 on page 6 of the agreement.
Oh, okay, all right. I see that in clause 8.4, the agreement says the terms of this agreement shall be kept strictly confidential between the parties and the oversight committee. Do you want to comment on that? What was the need for that?
Chair, there's an oversight committee that consists of Valence Watson, Ronnie Watson, Gavin Watson, and Brian Bebuck. Previously, Chair, the oversight committee was Gavin Watson, Angelo Agrizzi, Andries van Tonda, Brian Bebuck.
But what was the need for, do you want to comment on what need there was for the parties to keep,
Yes, Chair.
the terms of the agreement strictly confidential between them and the oversight committee?
Chair, the only reason why you'd want to keep something secret is because it's illegal.
Yes, Mr. Pretorius.
Just to understand the structure of the agreement, paragraph 5.5, to which I referred you earlier, speaks of an oversight committee. And as I understand the agreement, and you can agree or disagree, but it's plain from a reading of the agreement, that any difference that arises between the parties is to go to the oversight committee and they would resolve the dispute.
Yes.
Subject to that, there was an undertaking that no party would denigrate or malign any other party.
I think it's very difficult in a legal document, Chair, to write there, no party will snitch or tell the truth when it comes to corruption. So they would have used that terminology there, Chair, with all due respect. I want to refer you, Chair, to the email again, where it says here, please, he says very, I just need to find it now, Chair. You know, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how to do these things.
Yeah, no.
I watch TV and I watch the legal cases there, but I don't think I can use that tactic here. Chair, there's an email that comes from Brian Beebuck, and I thought we had printed it out, where it says, please, will you send me your banking details as soon as possible?
Oh, have you found it?
Yeah.
Just have a look.
Sorry. No. Sorry, Chair. You know, this was supposed to be being printed out, but it's not here.
You can't find it.
Chair, I'll forward it to you. I can't hold up your proceedings because I can't find where it is at the moment. I just want to have one last look. Yeah, Chair. But there's a comment that is made by Brian Beebuck, and he says, please, can I have your bank account details so we can quickly pay the 10 million rand into it?
Yes.
And I will provide you with that email. Unfortunately, just can't find it.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm sure if you have got it, arrangements will be made for it to be made available.
Sorry, Chair. Sorry, but this was really a bit of a mess here.
No, it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
No problem. But I'll forward it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a lot of supplementaries, Chair.
No, that's fine. It might even be sent up with a short affidavit by you confirming what it is. But Mr. Pretorius will talk to you about it. Yes, Mr. Pretorius.
In any event, your evidence in that regard, Mr. Agrizzi, is that prior to the signing of the agreement by yourself, in fact, you never signed the agreement, but prior to the contemplated signing, you were offered an immediate payment of 10 million rand.
That's correct.
With the condition attached that you had to sign quickly.
With the condition attached that I had to sign quickly, Chair, and I had to do a retraction and personally send a letter to the NPA to say that I had made a mistake and put out a press release that I'd made a mistake. If I'd sold my soul, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yes.
Chair, there were a number of issues raised during the course of the evidence, partly prepared by way of further annexures, but the process, as I understand it, will be that various parties will respond to the 3-3 notices that have been issued. We'll place their versions before you and, if appropriate, apply for an opportunity to cross-examine. At that stage, once the versions have been obtained, we will have an opportunity to put those to Mr. Agrizzi before he is cross-examined. In the meanwhile, we will compile a supplementary affidavit which deals with the decoding of the names coded in the black book with the lists of various contracts with government departments and state-owned entities, with various other issues raised by yourself and raised by ourselves in questioning, and we'll place that before you as soon as possible. So for the present then, we don't close the examination of Mr. Agrizzi, but we ask that his testimony be recommenced at a later stage.
Yes, I take it too that any of the matters that he might not have covered in the affidavit presently before me, which are relevant to the investigation, to the inquiry and the investigation, would be covered as well in due course, because he has said quite a few times that there is a lot more that he could have included, but there wasn't enough time. Obviously, the legal team will look at the relevance and materiality of all of those matters.
Yes, Chair, that undertaking on the part of Mr. Agrizzi is recorded in paragraph 54,
Yes.
which he
yes.
has read onto the record, and yes, indeed, that will happen.
Yes, okay. Mr. Agrizzi,
Chair.
I want to once again take this opportunity to thank you for coming forward to give evidence to this commission. There probably will be other days when you will come back and give evidence in due course. And as I said that other week, at the end of the whole process, or at the end of when I've had evidence from everybody concerned, including people who are implicated in your evidence, I will weigh up the evidence and I will determine what is true, what is not true. But for now, I thank you for all the trouble you have taken to be able to come and give the evidence that you have given. And I've no doubt that there is still some more evidence that you want to make available to the Commission that you haven't covered. But just want you to know that I appreciate that you have come forward to assist the Commission.
Chair, thank you very much for your time, your trouble. I can assure you I will be here to give more evidence, and I've committed the next 6 months of my life to making sure that this gets uncovered. So I've not committed to anything else but to making sure that this gets uncovered with the supplementary affidavits. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you for the way you treat me, even though I'm not even worthy after what I said.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are excused for now.
Thank you,
Thank
Chair.
you.
Chair, and then finally we will present to you the affidavit in relation to the order confirming the, well, an order directing the production of materials by this witness. It's as much for his protection as anybody else's, but we will explain that in the affidavit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. There must just be an affidavit that explains everything properly.
Yes, Chair.
Yeah. Do you want to do you want a 5 minutes adjournment before we proceed with the next witness?
Please, Chair, if we can rearrange our files.
5 minutes or 10?
5 is fine.
Five will do. Okay. We'll take the 5 minutes adjournment. We'll resume at 3:30. We adjourn.